You are listening to Maximum Pew Pew, an actual play RPG podcast. Maximum Pew Pew follows continuous storylines and are meant to be enjoyed from the beginning. This episode follows the West of Perdition storyline and may contain spoilers for adventures contained in Things from the Flood and Out of Time, published by Free League. The following content may contain mature themes and adult language. In this episode, the teens continue their independent investigations.
Good afternoon, Mike Flanigan, Clear Channel Radio, with this week's entertainment news. Steven Seagal's newest film, Fire Down Below, appears to be a flop, only grossing $6 million in its opening weekend, barely beating out Conspiracy Theory, G.I. Jane, and Copland, all of which were released last month. In music news, Elton John performed a stirring rendition of Candle in the Wind this past Saturday at the funeral of Princess Diana. Elton John will be releasing the single later this week, with proceeds supporting the numerous humanitarian efforts Diana had worked with. On a lighter note, local comedian Adam Rock continues to tear up local television with his scathing commentaries. Here's a clip from his most recent routine.
Well, I've lived in West Virginia for years now, and I've found that everybody knows that there's only two vacation destinations. You can go to Pigeon Forge or Myrtle Beach. So many people from Princeton go to Myrtle Beach each year that they're thinking of renaming it Mercer Beach. Now, I could combine the two, I'd be a millionaire. Just build me a log cabin up in some holler somewhere. We'll put in a sandbox, a tanning bed, an 18-hole putt-putt course. We'll charge $150 a night. For an extra fee, we can get a helicopter to buzz the place every 30 minutes.
Tristan and Willow, making your daring escape from the hospital, which is to say it's not very exciting at all. They're just going to let you leave. But you got some good information, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got some information, basically the same thing you kind of gathered from what had happened at the school. Mm-hmm. And in addition, this weird sensation happening with her skin. Mm-hmm. As you are leaving the hospital, you have a let's see here. You overhear some nurses talking about another patient with thick skin.
Okay.
So you hear them talking, and like they're just having a conversation, very anti-HIPAA because.
Because they're nurses.
Well, I didn't say that.
My mom's a nurse. I don't care.
I didn't say that.
Oh, no HIPAA here.
No HIPAA here. You overhear them say, it's like the third one we've had. We don't have we can't get a line in them. Like, how are we supposed to start an IV and we can't even get it through their skin? Like, are we supposed to drill for it? Like, I don't know. Like, we don't have this. So you hear them and they're talking about these complications they're having because they've had a influx of patients that have had this thick skin. Like, I'm afraid it's contagious. You kind of stop and hear, and they're having a juicy conversation right now.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give you the opportunity to try to eavesdrop, and that would be a sneak roll.
I think it's not my best, but I'll do it.
Well, Tristan's here as well if he's kind of getting all in on this. So I'll let you
roll separately.
Yeah, we can roll separately.
Okay, yeah.
Because that didn't work out too well last time.
Oh, I actually got 2 successes.
2 successes, okay.
Yep.
So here's what you can do with your bonus success. Mm-hmm. You can give another teen a success. Mm-hmm. Or you can find something unexpected. So you can get him in on this, or you can leave him out to dry and get even juicier gossip.
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Get the juicier gossip.
All right, I'll go with the juicier gossip then.
So you guys are kind of eavesdropping a little bit, like lingering about, and something about Tristan's presence makes them realize that maybe they shouldn't be having this conversation out in the open. So they go to a more secluded place. What they don't realize is that Willow has also scouted out this more secluded place, and they have exposed themselves to even more HIPAA violations.
Bring me those violations.
as a result of them trying to be a bit more secretive of what they're talking about. And these two nurses are discussing how, Mrs. Carmichael is one of 3 patients that have come in recently that have had the exact same symptoms. They've come in, they are not breathing on their own, and they've developed this perfect patchwork scale over the entirety of their epidermis. There's one dermatologist that has agreed to come in and take a look at it, and what the dermatologist has found is that the meshwork isn't actually part of the epidermis at all, but rather like a coating, because used special tools to kind of try to get into it without actually getting into the dermis layer, which would hurt like a mother. But the dermatologist is actually able to cut into that with special tools, peel it away, and actually revealed the skin underneath. And it looked as though the skin had secreted some type of almost like an epoxy or something that once it reacted to oxygen, it kind of hardened and created this protective mesh around them. So the dermatologist has no idea why they've stopped breathing or anything like that, but has determined that the outer shell that's been developed probably could be removed with special tools and care, enough to the point where somebody could actually get an actual IV line in on these patients. So they're talking about that and how they would have never thought they've seen the dermatologist in the emergency department trying to do these things, and that there have been 3 patients. All of them have been female, and these nurses are very concerned that it might be contagious because none of these people have revived. They're stable but on a vent.
Do they say the ages? Is it young to old, or is it just old?
They don't say anything about ages. They just make the comparison that they have yet to have any male patients come in with this particular problem.
Okay.
That it's been female patients, and that makes them a bit nervous because they have to. They don't know if it's contagious. They don't know how it could be. How it could be transmitted. They've had this male dermatologist come in and has literally been working with the skin and stuff and has had no issues. They don't know if it's contagious. So there's a lot of concern as to what could be causing it, but it makes them nervous nonetheless because they don't want to be the one that they don't want to catch it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
But that's the juicy info you get. You find out that there's multiple patients. They all seem to be female, and it doesn't seem to be the skin hardening as much as something kind of protecting the skin.
Okay.
So the nurses respond to a opportune call button and make their way out of this little area, and Willow's able to kind of emerge from behind this tree or this bush.
It's okay. The crazy hair fits in very well.
That's in this room unexpectedly.
Why do you think her name's Willow? It looks like the willow tree. Easy enough to mix up. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you come out of this room and find Tristan conspicuous as hell.
Yeah.
Kind of standing around man, talk about something out here, please. Where'd Willow go?
Willow's I am the master of stealth.
Bamf. Where'd she go?
Boy, do I have some secrets to tell you.
Okay, so just relay the information that...
after we get out of here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. On your way out, you can tell Willow's fit to burst with information, but can't really reveal it in the hospital area.
Okay, but I did catch the whole thing about it being contagious, so I do make it a point that we stop at like one of those like hand sanitizer dispensers. just sanitize up on the way out.
Well, just look at you and be like, "Oh, you're fine. I'm the one that needs to be concerned."
Yeah, yeah. Get some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
You were all up on that.
I know, seriously.
Tristan, Willow, either of you watch watch any television at all?
No. Well, I'm an orphan. I have like 5 other brothers and sisters. I barely watch the TV.
Okay.
I'm mostly babysitting.
Usually, I'm usually home alone most evenings, so TV is usually one of my go-to forms of entertainment.
Okay.
Like rent a movie from like the movie gallery.
Gotcha.
Or
yeah, we would have had a Blockbuster by that point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Bring that dinosaur out.
Well, I was just like
One
making like a
left.
callback to.
Is it like in Alaska or
I think so.
is it like
They
Anchorage or
have
something?
got,
I was just making a
Twitter
callback
handle,
to.
I think.
Yeah, the
to
movie
Loop.
gallery.
To
Yeah.
Loop.
So there's a few more options now that we're in the 90s. So
Welcome to the future.
yeah, as you are walking out of the hospital, Tristan, you recognize a familiar face walking in. So you watch a lot of television, some of it late at night. Maybe you've caught some stuff like really late, like a Letterman or Leno or something like that. Maybe wait up, see if like your mom will come in so you can chat with her real quick before you guys go to bed or anything like that. But the local access has been airing this new comedian by the name of Adam Rock. He's a Princeton native, and he was on a recent talent search contest looking for comedians, and he did really well. And of course, that makes you kind of a local celebrity in Princeton because nothing else is going on. So one of the local access stations has given him like a 30-minute show every week or something, and he does comedy stand-up. His humor's a little ironic, a little dry, and is sometimes cruel in some cases, but like, boy, he's just super cutting, and some of the stuff is just like spot on. Like it kind of gives you like a morbid laugh.
Oh, sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. So you see him come in as you're leaving the front of the hospital. He's coming in. He has a black eye and is currently holding his left elbow like it is very hurt. He's making his way in there. Has a little bit of a limp as he comes in, and he sort of makes his way in there, having a little bit of a tough time with it. But it looks like he'd been through some type of physical something.
Yeah,
Definitely looks worse for wear, and looks like it was recent. Like there might actually still be like a little trickle of blood coming out of
looks
his
like
nose that he's kind of smeared.
Looks like he got jumped or something.
From your background, it certainly looks like it. Like not severe enough to like he had to have an ambulance come in, but like,
well, I mean, he's walking, so
yeah, he's walking.
But he's certainly caught some hands.
Presumably, he drove here himself, so he's got a vehicle that could make it, so he didn't like wreck or anything. But yeah, it looks like probably somebody beat the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, seeing this, I'm gonna want to like stick around, see what goes on, see what he does.
Okay.
Like is he heading toward like the front desk? He just, or is he just sitting down somewhere? What's he doing?
He goes over to he comes in, kind of looks at the signs, the same thing like you do when you come into the hospital, like, okay, let me orient. So he tries to orient, and he appears to be going towards like the check-in area.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of goes over there and limps over a little bit, and it's so busy no one's even coming over to like check on him, or like, like nobody's noticing. Like it's so chaotic, nobody notices that this guy is like just been beat up, has kind of walked in here, actively bloody nose, whatever. Because otherwise you would figure a nurse would like, oh God, let me help you, get a wheelchair, get him to sit down, try to get him expedited. He slowly, methodically makes his way over to check in. And it seems like he's trying to check in with the front desk. The front desk saying something as you can't hear the conversation, but the front desk has pretty much said something that he didn't really care for. He's like, no, I really need to come in here, please. I think it's broken. Like, I need somebody to look at this, please. She starts to kind of raise the receptionist kind of raises her voice in response, like, we're sorry. I mean, we can get you to go into the ER maybe. We just don't have any beds right now. We've just been so busy right now. And he's kind of caught between like wanting to like pound his fist on the desk or like just start to break down. Like, he is in a lot of distress right now. And this is someone that, you know, puts forth a pretty kind of tough persona. Like, you kind of view him as maybe being a little bit emotionless and a little bit like crass and stuff when you've watched his stand up.
Yeah, so this is a little jarring.
Yeah, it's a bit anachronistic from what you're used to seeing on television.
Mm-hmm. I'll be like, hey, Willow, see that guy over there?
What guy?
The guy that looks rather worse for wear.
Oh, yeah, the one who's being a total jerk to that woman?
Yeah, that's Adam Rock, was it?
Adam Rock.
Yeah, that's Adam Rock. He's a local comedian, kind of a local celebrity.
Okay.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. I'll go ask him. Well, we'll just walk right up.
I guess I'll
freaking sunshine and rainbows. Here we go.
So you've got a few options. You can try to charm him. You can try to empathize with him. Empathize is going to be less direct. That means that you don't have to like actually speak with him. You can just kind of size up the situation, maybe judge the surroundings and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can either of those you can do. Or tell me something else you want to try. You could potentially use investigate. And that being said, you could make a different roll too if you wanted to. There's some options here. So investigate to find hidden clues or objects. You can empathize to study his behavior. You could charm to get him to open up to you.
I'm going to try to charm him.
Okay.
I was thinking empathize, like she gets close to him and like goes, man, you should really help him, and like, you know, pulls him back. But I feel like that'd still be a part of charm because she's trying to get...
Yeah, depending on who you're speaking with would be. So are you wanting to speak directly to Adam Rock?
Well...
Or the
lady be like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like she goes up and she goes, you're not going to help this man? He's obviously hurt. And then like try to get on his good side.
Okay, gotcha. So, So yeah, go ahead and make me a charm roll. And basically you're trying to coerce this, you know, receptionist to try to expedite his care. Mm-hmm. Failure means that she's probably just going to ignore you and status quo is going to be maintained.
Oh, I just want to make sure I'm rolling the right amount. 6. Okay.
But we all know the status is not quo right now.
Absolutely not quo.
I have 2 successes.
2 successes with charm. Okay. So you get on her good side. Now you get to pick a bonus, a bonus ability as a result, and you get to choose from these 6 things. She keeps believing you. So let's go back. Your charm roll was to try to convince her to expedite his care.
Yes, and get on his good graces.
Gotcha. So you've got a friend now. You get to choose one of these bonus effects. She keeps believing you, which, I mean, you didn't really tell a lie or anything. Mm-hmm. You formed a lasting relationship. She will take risks to help you. She will try to persuade others to believe you. She's frightened, confused, or impressed, or she's infatuated.
Definitely not infatuated. She'll take risks to help me.
So you want her to go out of her way to try to get him a bet. So you come over, you kind of guilt her a little bit. It kind of hits her, like, just, you know, you find this like rare moment of vulnerability and it hits her. She looks over to Adam Cole, I'm like thinking of wrestling right now. Adam Rock. He is struggling to fight back tears and you immediately, you know, her heartstrings are tugged, and she's like, let me see what I can do. And she starts calling the floors like, hey, has anyone left there yet? Has anyone left there? She's going floor by floor, finds someone with a vacancy on the 4th floor, and says, okay, I need to get someone in there right now. I know there's people in line, but this is probably going to be a quick fix. I think it's just going to be, you know, setting a break and we can be on his way. Like, he'll be in and out in a few hours. Just, you know, help me. Sounds like she's able to convince somebody to get him into a bed by telling them that it's probably a quick fix. It's not going to require like a bunch of supplies or stuff. And, you know, won't be a big deal. She gets off the phone. Oh, got good news. I've got, I found a bed. Just sit in the waiting room. We'll have someone come get you. She hands him a clipboard to fill out some paperwork. He gets it with his arm, and you can tell that he's like a lefty. So like he's not going to be able to fill it out.
Do you want me to help you?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So you take him to the waiting area, and you fill out the paperwork. So there's name, Adam Rock, date of birth. He's in his mid-30s. Address up in one of the nicer housing developments, not too terribly far from the hospital right now. Mm-hmm. You get to emergency contacts, and he pauses. Everything else was kind of like a natural response. You ask him a question, he had to answer. Question, answer, question. Emergency contacts. And he misses a few beats before he says, guess I can put my wife.
Okay, what's her number?
He gives you her telephone number, and her name is Annie Rock. But he was very reluctant to give that initial answer, and once he's kind of pressed for it, like he gives that info. But it seemed very distressing that he was going to have to give his wife's information as his emergency contact.
Are you and your wife not in good standing?
Now you're going to have to make me a charm roll for him.
Okay.
You've got the in. You've got him. He's helpful. Now you're asking him for information he might not be as willing to share.
Okay. I'm gonna do.
So did you marked a condition earlier, right?
Yeah, I did upset.
Okay, so anytime you mark a condition, you'll actually remove a die from your dice pool.
Oh, okay.
So I know this didn't happen until recently. So you'll from now on you'll just roll one less for each.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so you didn't have any successes?
No, I didn't have any.
Okay, so you can spend a condition to reroll, or you can mark your shame, or you can let this ride.
Can I use my iconic item, maybe?
So your iconic item would have added 2 additional dice.
Mm-hmm.
How would you use it in this situation?
She'll actually like point to it because she's like, this is the last thing my mom gave me. I'm an orphan, and I know it's hard, you know, letting people go, or, you know, something bad happens to them, or they did something bad to you. I just want to know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll 2 extra dice. So just roll the 2 dice that you would have thrown normally. Okay.
I got 1 success.
That's what you needed. He's kind of defensive when you first ask about that, but when you kind of talk about family and how you've lost yours and how you just want to make sure everything's up and up, she's been acting a bit more aggressive than usual lately.
Aggressive how?
He kind of looks down at his arm.
Oh. She did this to you?
You can see like every bit of like his masculinity kind of like drain away from it, like all the machismo and stuff and toughness. Like you can see him shrink down a little bit, and like he doesn't want to verbally say yes, but like you can tell he's saying yes.
I'll interject. You're Adam Rock, the local comedian, aren't you?
Yeah, he perks back up a little bit. He you know, like he sniffs his nose, and wife says like, Yeah. You see my show?
Yeah, I watch it every so often. I'm a fan of yours.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. They the WSAZ up in Charleston's interested in picking it up. I might actually get something a bit more permanent.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
I think you deserve it, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a change.
I give him a pat on the back and just smile reassuring as we wait for like the nurses to come for him.
Okay. You get through the rest of the paperwork. There's a section like history of present illness where you're supposed to describe what's happened, and he describes he thinks about it for a while, and he tries to tell you the story about how he was mugged, and as you're trying to gather more information, this story does not hold much water. Like he keeps it very
to him.
Well, they're not going to send anyone in. They're just going to fix the arm and get me out of here. It's so busy. I'm just put whatever. They don't really care. I mean, they'll send the police in to ask me what they looked like, and I won't know what they looked like. And even if I did know what it's fine. I just need my arm fixed.
That could also be like a cause, because isn't it also your leg? What about that car crash?
What car crash? The one they were talking about on the news?
Yeah. I mean, you could have a smaller one, like maybe you hit a pole or something listening to that, and you were just,
Oh, I drove here. If they see my car, they're not going to...
never mind then.
They're not going to believe that. They'll believe that, I was walking on Mercer and somebody jumped me for my wallet. And they're not going to do shit about it because they've never have before. So,
all right, we'll just write that down.
This isn't my first time.
Gotcha. Do you always use the mugging excuse?
I haven't in a while. I just figure I'm famous and people think I'm a smart ass on occasion. So, they might think that I got what's coming to me and play it off. That's how I usually.
Well, no one deserves to get jumped.
Well, I know.
All right. Well, I'll write it down and I'll make a more believable story.
Okay. I mean, you're probably wasting your time, but okay. You continue to answer what questions are on this clipboard as he gets admitted, but it certainly seems like there's some type of abuse occurring.
Mm-hmm.
Back to 460. Tony, making his return from the confusing mess that he saw on the interstate. Eddy conferring with paramedic what's been going down and what could have potentially caused this mess. You all have reconvened probably close to your vehicle.
At any point when I was walking back, did that feeling of apathy ever dissipate?
It relieved. It relieved a little bit, probably about the time where you got close to it. You could hear the water spraying out of the pumps.
Right.
It wasn't an on-off switch. It just got gradual enough to the point where now you recognize oh, now I'm...
Yeah.
Man, that whole car thing was weird. I'd really like to go back there and look at it a bit more. It kind of re-triggered. You didn't have any forgetfulness.
Right.
You still had that knowledge, but you didn't have the energy to act on it. And now it's now it's nagging at you.
Yeah, I should have went closer.
Yeah. Now it's kind of picking at your brain right now. It's kind of driving you nuts. The original curiosity that made you drive from school to here to investigate it is now just really digging deep. And you may even take a few steps back towards the accident scene, and that feeling kind of wanes again.
I'll step backwards again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an on-off switch. It's like a dimmer switch.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just feel it by degrees. And you know that some people might have a different threshold. Some people, you force yourself to go way further than any of those firefighters have dared, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw where they would stop, and you went past that. but you just had like zero desire to go any closer. You got close enough to see what you thought you needed to see. But yeah, you can just, it's, yeah, like that, your natural curiosity, and then that same voice that's helped you so many times in pressure plays in baseball, kind of telling you like, maybe not.
Sure. Okay. I'll try to, like, as I'm slipping by, I'll try to get Eddy's attention and kind of like motion back to the car.
Okay.
And, once I, see him out of the, peripheral vision there, I just, do the very exasperated side, like, all right, well, I'm not getting any closer, and they're not getting any closer putting it out. I guess we'll just see it on the news. Stay safe. Good luck.
All right. Yep. You take care. We'll, hopefully we can get over there. Just drive me nuts. Gosh, like you can tell he's just super frustrated. Like,
yeah, just, I understand that. We want to get closer.
Yeah. Well, you need to stay far away. I mean,
I know.
In a few years, look us up if you want to be a paramedic, but
might kind of like working on the, the mechanic side more, but
okay.
Might get a change of heart. I'm still young, right?
Yeah.
Is that what all of you end up telling me?
Well, I mean, plenty of options. I was a line cook for 4 years before I got in paramedic. That's definitely a more interesting change of pace. People going to yell at me anyway, so.
So
all right.
Thank him for, the chat and life experience talk, and then, start heading back to the car.
Yeah.
Try to meet Tony at the car.
Yeah. So you meet Tony at the vehicle and share your various experiences.
What the hell's up there, man?
That car looked like it's slammed into something.
Okay, like what? Was there...
There's nothing. It's just a crumpled car.
No crater, no...
Not that I can see.
No deer, no...
No, it looked like it hit, like... I mean, you've seen the videos. You've been in class for long enough. You've seen the crash test dummy videos. Yeah. It looked like that. Except there's nothing that it hit.
But how? That rolls out the shine in the engine or the NOS. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like it slammed into something. The whole front end is basically pushed back into the engine compartment's pushed back into the cab.
Is it hotter up there, or?
No, that's the thing. It's not that hot. I don't know why they're not going up there. I kind of want to go back, but like if I start walking, it's like I lose interest.
How could you lose interest? It's on fire.
I don't know,
but we do this all the time.
I'm aware. Like it just something in the back of my head was nagging. Like I got within like 100 feet, and I just turned around and walked back. But then I get back here, and I'm like I'm gonna sprint back over there. But as soon as I start taking steps that way, it's like I don't know. It's weird.
So Tony, what else did you? What were your other senses as you were there?
And then like I don't know if you look off, kind of how when the asphalt gets hot and everything gets fuzzy.
Yeah.
Well, like if you look not at the fire but kind of away from it, it's fuzzy over on the sides too. It's like I don't know. I mean, this is weirding me out. It's not like where the fire is. You can see the heat waves off of that, but this is off over to itself.
Eddy, he explains this, and you take a look, and does your character wear glasses, or they've got? Do you think they got pretty good eyesight?
Pretty good eyesight. The only time they're wearing glasses, safety glass time or welding time.
Okay, you look over near that fire and kind of pan left and right, and you kind of think like, okay, a sort of atmospheric haze maybe, and then he explains to you like, no, turn around, and it does feel like you can see way better toward the west, toward the actual like town of Princeton than you could when you were looking toward the where that wreck was, and even the clouds it's getting a little bit darker, but even the clouds seem to lack the same definition that you are used to seeing when you're outside. It's just a little bit blurred.
Are we in an episode of The Twilight Zone or something?
I mean, out of character, we're playing things from the flood.
I know, but in character, like that's like my two statements would have either been: Are we in an episode of The Twilight Zone, or I've seen enough bad sci-fi to know where this is going?
Tony, you will probably also mention that smell of ozone.
Yeah, and it smelled really, really weird. Like I didn't smell fire. It smelled like, remember last summer when we had that lightning strike that was pretty close?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember how like it smelled like electricity feels?
Yeah.
Yeah, I smelled that.
That's weird.
Make me Eddy, our motorhead, make me a comprehend roll.
Alrighty.
Can I assist him? By trying to describe everything a little bit more.
Yeah, so actually take an additional die from the assistance. This is coming from your background as a mechanic.
Okay. One success. You will sometimes
Smell ozone over in the welding class when they've got, their MIG welders opened, wide open and stuff. You can just kind of smell like that reaction of ionized air. And it's not like an unpleasant scent, but when somebody's working on metal or something.
Very distinct.
From personal experience, from what Tony's talking about, usually it requires some electrical current. Something electrical to do that. And the fact that he was smelling something like that so intensely, it makes sense that there could be an electrical fire in a car.
Yeah.
But to smell that so intensely.
Especially with a burning car, you'd be smelling the gas or the fabric or something else more than the ozone.
And even in some cases, now that you're aware of it, depending on how the wind kind of wafts in some cases, you can kind of catch it too. So you're kind of like, yeah, I can imagine that smell. And you're like, oh, it's because I'm smelling it.
Yeah, I could smell it just like yesterday in the shop. No, I'm smelling it right now, aren't I?
So, the wind will blow some direction. You'll smell like, okay, that smells like fire and flame and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's that ozone. That's what. So, armed with that information.
Outside of that, and then just point in the general direction, that takes a lot of electricity. And you're right, that's what it smells like.
Right.
But there's no lightning here.
No, it hasn't stormed in 3 days.
But yeah, it's crackling there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so confused.
Did they say something about something new at the power plant, or?
Oh, did they?
No, I mean, no. You
power
plant
to Princeton is Glenland.
Yeah, you haven't really heard anything like that. And I mean, the loop is in Blacksburg, so we've talked a little bit about the loop before in other sessions, but it's been decommissioned. There's nothing really going on there. Like you said, Glenland, which is about a solid 20-minute drive from Princeton, is the biggest power station.
So we'd have nothing loop related in the city limits that could be chalked up to this,
with the exception of people that were laid off from the loop. That would be the most tangentially related thing that you could get at.
Oh, but that constant smell of electric in the air is just weird.
And it's just as the breeze in certain directions. So you realize that when you have an easterly breeze, coming from the town of Princeton, you don't smell that, but as you're looking at the fire, when the wind hits your face or hits the side of your face, you kind of get that smell on occasion.
Is there another way out of town besides here?
Well, absolutely. It depends on what direction you want to go. So 460 is one of the main local arteries. There's a number of back roads that can lead you to Athens or Glenwood or Bluefield, all the way into Raleigh County, the Beckley and Pineville area. It's pretty well connected, but the two main roads you're at the intersection of right now.
Okay.
So you could take 460 to the west and take it all the way to the Virginia line and eventually to like Bristol. Alternatively, like 77, like we said earlier, takes you all the way down to like, to Charlotte, and all the way up to, past Charleston and the various and sundry intersections we have here.
Well, better question. Outside of the food options in that corner, is there a way that is, at least closer to out of town, but like we could stop at McDonald's, for example?
There is literally McDonald's right on, I don't know if that's Ingleside, but it's right off the interstate. You would have probably you could have parked at the McDonald's parking lot and walked over if you wanted to.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of, because I actually want to like try something. I want to see what it's like at another exit of town.
So the other another exit of town, like
that's
near
not
460,
like blocked off by Flaming Wreck.
You could go towards Bluefield.
We could go. You can end up all the way there.
Yeah, and you just go further out that way. So yeah, you can pull out of that intersection.
Well, Mom's still going to be out for a couple hours. You want to go check something out?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you hop on 460.
Dad definitely won't be home.
Yeah. You hop on 460. You head back towards town.
Food.
You get you pass various intersections. You pass that last intersection that takes you like to the high school or whatever. You go past there. Kind of a no man's land at this point. For
about the next 3 miles.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
You drive for a while. You get to the intersection where like Andy Clark Ford is. And as you're going past, like you get to that intersection where Andy Clark is. And I don't think let me see if that's anywhere near the map, because it's going to be very far.
It'd be down here. It'd be almost down in here.
Yeah. So, like this area, just right there. There is.
It helps when I know what the area is.
So you get to that intersection, and you love this intersection. You love this intersection because on your right is Andy Clark Ford, and on your left is Cole Chevrolet. Right? So this is like the car lot mile.
Okay.
And once you pass by here, you've got like like the Subaru, Toyota stuff, like the Mitsubishi, like all that stuff.
So it's like everything I could ever want car wise. This is car heaven here.
Yeah. And there's used lots and stuff, but like these are the new lots.
Yes.
They've got the stuff right off the off of 460. You can see everything brand new. It's wonderful. You love this. So, you get caught at the red light and you're like, oh no, man, drat. Guess we'll have to wait.
Can we just stop for 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes and walk around the lot.
And you're kind of admiring, and you feel the vehicle instead of you feel the vehicle lurch like it's about to move. And Eddy, instead of the car going forward like you're going to Bluefield, you feel it make a right turn like you're going to Andy Clark Ford back towards Princeton. Tony, you're standing there. This is happening. You're sitting in the car, and you're staring at that light, and the light turns green. And your brother's over here, daydreaming about cars, and the light turns green. And you probably wait a good 4 or 5 seconds before you decide. You turn on your right signal, and you turn back like you're going towards Princeton, having lost all interest in wanting to go towards Bluefield.
As we're turning and going in the wrong direction, like, wait a minute, we're wrong direction.
And Eddy, you kind of feel the same way because you've been distracted by these cars.
But there's still like 6 more lots down there.
Yeah, but like but
it's just
these
a
cars
Nissan lot. I mean,
but these cars right here. But you both kind of feel like that nagging, like it's not as interesting that way. Like you just want to get back towards Princeton. There's cars here. There's like a brand new F-150 here that you could check out. They've got the F-250s. A Mustang right on the little showroom that they've got ramped up so you can see And at this point I'm like, wait,
Hang on a second. Stop for a second.
Pull off. Right.
Okay, you pull off near the car lot because there's plenty of margin there for you people.
Is this what you were feeling?
Kinda, yeah. It's like I wanted to do something. Like I wanted to go see that wreck, and then it's just nah.
Do you think you could throw a ball that far from where we are to about where the car was, give or take?
Yeah, sure.
And if the burning car was that direction, you think you could throw a ball?
Definitely throw a ball 100 feet.
Okay.
At this point, it's like, let's get something small that I know won't break any of the the cars.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's like a small rock or something.
Yeah, I mean, and you've probably got a few practice balls in your
there's
trunk
some
too.
like jugs balls that are kind of rubberized or tennis balls or something.
Yeah,
He's probably got something.
So you all get as close as you can before you've lost disinterest, and you kind of push yourself. Now you get close enough to where both of you can kind of smell that ozone, and there's no traffic. Like no one's going this direction.
Mm-hmm.
No one's coming the other direction. It's kind of just the two of you walking alone on this 4-lane, like in this almost like post-apocalyptic.
This is weird.
I'm used to seeing this at midnight before the drag starts.
You've got a mesh bag.
That's funny. That's actually the drag strip.
Yeah, it's a good one too. That's a good one. You've got a mesh bag full of these balls, and you get as close as you can before like disinterest, like you're pushing one another to try to get as close as you can. Smell of ozone becomes pretty apparent. It doesn't matter what direction the wind's blowing right now. You're smelling ozone.
This was what I had on the other end of town.
I think we're close enough. Let's.
So Tony, you're gonna grab one of these balls.
Yep.
I need you to make a. I'm gonna have you roll force.
Sure.
Because force is normally fight, endure physical stress, and lift or push heavy things. I'm getting you to throw for distance. Like you are at the back wall, and you're going to try to make the play at home.
Yeah. This is
because you saw somebody you saw Mark McGuire do it.
And that old
he made a play from the back wall.
Yep. Gotcha. Do I have my jacket on still?
Sure.
I'm going to borrow a D6. This
Go for it.
Becomes 8 die. Force. 1. I believe that is 2 successes.
2 successes. So you would get a bonus effect, and what I'm going to say the bonus effect is you don't need to roll to overcome the same trouble again, which is to say throwing an object very far. We'll just say that for the rest of the
Arm's
night.
still loosened up.
Yeah, it's nice and warm.
I was doing long throws earlier. This is gonna be all right.
You throw ball, and you've probably got so you throw it, and it's nice long ball, and it hits the asphalt, takes a nice favorable bounce, and about halfway up on this bounce, it spontaneously combusts. Tristan and Willow.
You're just standing like,
what? Commercial break. Other party.
I'll let you all parse that information however you see fit.
Not cool.
That is not cool, Jared, because that's fresh in our minds too.
Yeah.
Well,
No metagaming.
So. The voice of Mike Flanigan is Charles of Into the Unknown. Find out more at intotheunknownpodcast.podbean.com. The voice of Adam Rock is Geoff Cullop of Fish in the Pot. Find out more at fishinthepot.itch.io. Title and credit theme provided by Tabletop Audio. 10-minute ambiances and music for games and stories. Find out more at tabletopaudio.com. Additional music from Incompetech.com by Kevin MacLeod, used under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0.